What's up everyone and welcome back to the MMA Zone. Today, let's get started with Khabib saying that Islam Makhachev has a shot to surpass his lightweight GOAT status. Khabib Nurmagomedov has a ton of respect for his protege, Islam Makhachev, and for good reason. The two have grown up together, with Islam being a little younger, and Makhachev received the same type of tutelage that Khabib received from his father. With Islam training alongside Khabib for all those years, it's only natural that the Eagle believes that his colleague would win the lightweight title whenever he gets a chance. But what about surpassing Khabib as the GOAT of the lightweight division? Well, Khabib has confidence that Makhachev has a shot to do that as well. This is what Khabib stated in a recent interview about that.
Definitely it's possible. Right now it's like this is legacy fight for Islam. Why I really want he fight versus Charles Oliveira? Because he had 11 wins.
Islam has the second longest winning streak in the 155-pound division with 10 wins, while Oliveira has 11 wins. Oliveira is the #1 contender for the vacant title that was stripped from him when he missed weight at UFC 274 nearly 2 weeks ago against Justin Gaethje. He looked incredible in his win over the highlight reel, and now Khabib has been campaigning hard to get his boy Islam into that fight for the lightweight belt. It remains to be seen what happens here, but do you feel that if Islam beats Oliveira in a lightweight title fight and goes on a reign of terror of his own, he could surpass Khabib? Gilbert Burns says Leon Edwards has a true shot to beat Kamaru Usman. Kamaru Usman's reign as the king of the welterweight division is undeniable. He's never lost in the UFC and has racked up 5 successful defenses of the welterweight title, beating the likes of Colby Covington, Jorge Masvidal, and Gilbert Burns, finishing all of them. Now, with the UFC looking to match up Usman against Leon Edwards for his next title defense, some are saying that Rocky has the best chance at dethroning the 170-pound champ. One of those people is Gilbert Burns. Burns is Usman's training partner at Sanford MMA in Florida, and the two still have a good relationship despite the fact that Usman beat Burns via TKO. But Burns believes that Rocky has a good chance of beating the Nigerian Nightmare and walk away with the title. This is what Burns said about the whole thing during an episode of the Food Truck Diaries.
And I know Kamaru pretty well, but that fight's going to be close.
I agree.
That fight's going to be close.
100%.
And I think if you got those 3 guys, my opinion, Colby, Hamza, and Leon has the best chance.
To beat
Usman.
Burns is in a unique position to give his take, as he not only trains with Usman, but he also faced him in the octagon. Edwards and Usman fought back in 2015, with Usman having come out on top in that contest by a decision. It was Edwards' last recorded loss in the octagon, and he's gone on a massive streak ever since. While the fight is slated to take place this year, it's unclear when, as reports say that Kamaru Usman's hand injury is more severe than originally thought. But his manager, Ali Abdelaziz, says that this fight, while it won't take place in August, most certainly will take place by the end of 2022. What are your thoughts on Burns saying that Edwards has the best shot at beating Usman? Michael Chandler defends Dana White over fighter pay talk. Despite saying that he made much more money fighting for Bellator all those years, Michael Chandler doesn't have any issue with how much the UFC pays their fighters. In fact, Chandler believes that UFC President Dana White has done everything he can to lift fighters after taking that risk to buy the company about 20 years ago and growing it into a massive sports empire. Chandler, a former 3-time Bellator lightweight champion, has been one of the faces in the lightweight division for the UFC since entering the promotion in 2020. While he does sport a 2-2 record, he's coming off a massive knockout of former interim champion Tony Ferguson and was one half of the 2021 UFC Fighter of the Year with Justin Gaethje, so he brings a level of excitement that is undeniable. In a recent appearance on Jeremy Piven's podcast, Chandler did admit that he makes a little less now than he did when he was with Bellator, but the opportunities that have opened up for him makes it all more than worth it. This is what he stated with regard to how he sees the whole fighter pay issue.
You always see guys on the microphone saying that the UFC should pay more, or the media should say the UFC should pay more, and it's never the guys who are out there having their own YouTube channel, getting roles in movies, building fitness and wellness lifestyle programs, selling merch, doing all of the different things that we can do as fighters, because we are independent contractors. We can do whatever we want.
Chandler goes on to say that the fighters who complain about fighter pay are usually guys not doing anything outside of the UFC to help themselves and would rather tear down others who are, rather than lifting themselves up. What do you make of Chandler's assessment of the whole fighter pay scenario? Don't forget to take a second to hit that like button and subscribe to the MMA Zone to stay up to date on all the latest fight news. Charles Oliveira blames the commission for missed weight fiasco. Questions over what happened with regards to Charles Oliveira's missing weight at UFC 274 continue to swirl, and by now, many people in high places believe that the scale had been messed with on account of fighters constantly changing the dial from kilos to pounds and back and forth. For weighing in half a pound heavier than he was supposed to, Oliveira was stripped of his lightweight belt. He's now the #1 contender for the vacant title after submitting Justin Gaethje in the first round. But Oliveira doesn't blame the UFC at all for the whole thing. He's pointing his finger at the direction of the Arizona Boxing and MMA Commission. In a Portuguese language interview with Canal Encarada, Oliveira stated the following: "I think the UFC is not to blame. I think it is actually the Athletic Commission which is responsible for weigh-ins, right? I hit the weight on Thursday on the UFC scale, so that scale was changed, was removed, right?" Following the UFC 274 pay-per-view, UFC President Dana White said he believed that the fighters touching the scale constantly the night before led to the possible inaccurate reading. However, this was refuted by another UFC executive, Mark Ratner, who was the former head of the Nevada State Athletic Commission, as he said the scale was accurate and that only one guy missed weight, but all of the other nearly 24 fighters who used the same scale for the same fight night all made weight. What do you think of Oliveira blaming the commission and not the UFC? Big John doesn't buy that Dustin Poirier believes he could beat Colby Covington. Dustin Poirier has reportedly accepted a fight against his former teammate and American top team, Colby Covington. Chaos has been relentless with his verbal attacks on Poirier by making disparaging remarks about the Diamond's wife and mentioning his kids. It's a fight that Poirier stated he didn't want to take because he sees Colby as someone he would fight in the streets, and stated he doesn't want Chaos to make a dime off of his name. But former UFC referee and Bellator commentator Big John McCarthy is saying that, hold on a second, he believes that it's the other way around. He believes that Poirier will be making money off of Colby, who has been selling this rivalry, and put it on the table for Poirier to accept. Big John also believes that there's more to it than just heated words, and stated this in a recent episode of his Weighing In podcast with Josh Thompson.
They know, they've been in the gym together, they know where they're strong and they know where, they're weak against each other, so that may be exactly what it is. Maybe it's that he doesn't have the confidence going against Colby in that. But
Poirier had been in talks to fight Nate Diaz later this year, another natural lightweight. That fight seems to be going nowhere, and Poirier recently relayed that he did accept the Colby fight. Colby is a natural 170-pounder and has been calling out Poirier for a fight at 170 pounds. Still, what do you make of McCarthy's comments here? Do you feel Poirier doesn't think he can beat Colby, or do you think the opposite? Today's video was packed with some juicy stories from the fight world. What are your thoughts about what's going on in MMA? Don't forget to smash the like button and subscribe to the MMA Zone to see more videos just like this. See you next time.